What is a domitor and what is a regnant? I've heard you use the words regnant and domitor a few times now. Are those real titles used by vamps? And is there some kind of distinction between the two? They just feel like different words for master.
Yes, these are real terms used by real, actual uppercase V vampires that are real and actual. I've heard the titles of ghoul and domitor, as well as thrall and regnant, from multiple unaffiliated sources. At least in the West. Also, Lickmaster, Vaddy, Big Papa, but those are just perverse.
How charming.
And to answer your second question, these are not, in fact, synonyms. They are distinct. First, we have a ghoul and the domitor. A domitor is the blood giver, whilst the ghoul is the blood recipient. That is actually as simple as phyllo cheese pie, but it is, of course, purposefully dressed in the language of master and slave. Because everything vampires do is...
That tracks. Every other word out of Piotr's mouth was a master-slave dichotomy. Man, these vampires sure love their class systems. What of the regnant, though? What's that term all about?
The regnant-thrall relationship is a step beyond. See, a thrall is one whom is blood-bonded. A regnant is a blood-bondee. Here, the master and slave analogy is far more literal, an inseparably attached imposition on the existence of the bond. A ghoul is many times also a thrall, but not necessarily. Do you understand?
Ow! Naturally. And I suppose thrall is equally as derisive a term within the same context?
Not always.
No?
Unlike the term ghoul, a vampire can also be named a thrall. In fact, the normative assumption is that when you speak of a thrall, you're talking about a blood-bonded vampire, as the whole society is structured around it being given that a ghoul is always blood-bonded. Using thrall to describe a ghoul is meant to be redundant. Which, you know, it isn't. But I want you to think it is. As an example for a vampire thrall, take primordial hag Rosalia's regnant. That foul sorcerer had another one blood-bonded to them. The lowly magi they had sired. For as bad as the regnant thrall titles sound, it is the norm in certain social cliques for vampiric thralls to proudly name themselves such, as they partake in a bond or blood wedding, as they might grossly name it. Such self-debasement, whilst frowned upon in many societies, is often not considered an act of social upheaval or a degenerative taboo. Rather, it is considered a noble and necessary recognition of an inevitable hierarchy that serves to keep social order intact. That is, of course, unless the blood bond was imposed by someone of lower clan onto a kindred of higher clan, say.
Oh god, two wholly different kinds of caustic jargon.
Two? Ha ha! Who's keeping count, eh? Count! Like Dracula! In summary, not all ghouls are thralls, and not all thralls are ghouls. Same for domitors and regnants.
The vampire elite really loves to use norms as a weapon, huh?
Much like any elite.
That's true. Now, okay, this is all fine and good. Or, no, excuse me, this is god-awful.
True! Except for the god part, probably.
A serf willing to do anything at the call of someone as morally bankrupt as Piotr. I can see just how dangerous that is. And there is no limit to how many ghouls or bonds a vampire can have either?
The only limit lies in how much vitae a vampire can give.
Goodness gracious. But as I understand it, that's still not even as bad as it gets, yeah?
Oh! Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 not by far. The eight-legged rat thing we now hunt? Likely a hateful example of just that.